Welcome into Mock Trial Masterclass, your guide to controlling the courtroom. I'm Luke and I want you to be a mock trial master. Let's talk about how you can make that happen. Impeachments can be one of the most exciting parts of mock trial. After all, what could be better as an attorney than essentially getting to look at a witness on the stand and turn to the judge and jury and say, hey, that guy's lying. The problem, though, is that sometimes we get so excited about impeachments and what they mean for a trial and the huge opportunity to score big points that we get a little bit ahead of ourselves. We start to act a little bit frantic. We start to skip steps, and because we're mad that the other team made something up, either by contradicting something in their witness statement or making something up that wasn't in the statement to begin with, we get really emotional. And so what I want to do in this video is give you a proven plan for executing impeachments flawlessly every single time. Now, you're still going to have to make good decisions as to when to impeach, and that's another conversation altogether. But once you do pull the trigger, once you say, okay, I want to impeach this witness, here's the plan you're going to follow. It's 3 steps, and I promise if you follow them, your impeachments will be clear, everyone in the courtroom will be on the same page, and they're going to be incredibly effective. You ready to go? Let's do it. So the great thing about the 3 steps to a quality impeachment is that they all start with the letter C. The first step being confirm. This is the point where you're going to confirm the answer that the witness just gave. So, for example, if you're cross-examining a witness and the witness says, yeah, the t-shirt was blue, when in reality the t-shirt was red, and you decide you want to impeach on that point, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to get the witness to confirm that answer by saying, it's your testimony today that the shirt was red. Right? Did you see how I did that? There were a couple of things about the way I did that. First of all, it was a leading question. I didn't say, are you telling us, is it? No, it's a statement, because we want to phrase our cross questions as statements that a witness can't wiggle out of. So I phrased the question as, it is your testimony. And then I simply gave the witness a chance to confirm, or I guess if they don't want to, not confirm the testimony they just gave. Here's why this is the first step. Impeachments take a lot of time, and as you know, mock trial is a timed activity. And as much fun as impeachments are, as big of an opportunity as they are to score points, if you can avoid having to do one and save yourself time to cross on more important things, then that's what you want to do. And a lot of times, if you set up a witness by saying, it is your testimony, fill in the blank, they'll retreat. If they're not entirely sure of themselves, they will retreat when you give them that opportunity. It also wakes up everyone in the courtroom and signals to them, hey, it's impeachment time, things are getting serious. I promise that if a scorer was halfway asleep before you asked that question, it is your testimony, fill in the blank, they're going to wake up real quick and start paying attention because they know it's impeachment time. So step 1 to a quality impeachment, confirm. Get the witness to confirm the answer that they just gave that you think is against the rules. Step number 2 to a quality impeachment is credit. What are we crediting? Well, specifically, we're crediting the witness statement for what it is. Now, witness statements can take a lot of different forms in mock trial. They can be presented as affidavits, they can be presented as depositions, sometimes they can be presented as a report. But whatever manner a witness's statement is presented, we know a few things. First of all, we know that a witness is going to have a statement, because this is mock trial, and if a witness didn't have a statement, we wouldn't have a way to get facts from them about the case. So that's the first thing we know. And the second thing we know is that the statement that the witness gave in almost every case was made under oath. In other words, the witness took a legal oath in this pretend mock trial world that the things in this witness statement are the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And if they aren't, and we find out, it's a crime called perjury. So we know this going into a mock trial round. But if this were real life and we were dealing with a real jury's not going to know this information. Because think about a jury. A jury is just 12 people that really sort of get pulled off of the street and put into the courtroom to decide the fate of a trial. They're normal, everyday people. They're not legal experts. They're not lawyers. And so don't you think it would be a problem if, as we're getting the witness into an impeachment situation, we start throwing around terms like your sworn affidavit, your sworn deposition, without actually explaining to the jury what those words mean, what those terms mean? Of course that would be a problem, which is why in the credit stage of an impeachment, you want to credit the affidavit. So here's what it looks like when this is not done well. So you confirm the answer, you say, it is your testimony blank, and then you say, when your sworn affidavit, you told us what, or you didn't tell us. Not good. Because again, we want to take this slow. We want to be methodical with our impeachments. We want this to be process-based. And if we're thinking about a process and we're treating our jury like a real jury that wouldn't know anything about the law or the case that we're dealing with, we need to tell them what's going on slowly. So instead of diving headfirst into in your sworn affidavit or your sworn deposition, whatever, let's stop for a second and credit it. Here's how I would probably do that. So I get the witness to confirm their answer. My next question is going to be, well, prior to today's case, you prepared a sworn witness statement. And when you performed this witness statement, you were to write down any relevant fact about this case that you could remember. And when you filled out that witness statement, you were under oath. That's what sworn means. You were under an oath to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. The same oath that you're under right now in this courtroom. Did you notice a few things about that approach I just used? First of all, it was slow. It was methodical, right? It was paced. I wasn't frantic. I wasn't, jumping at the gun to try to get to the end. I slowed down a little bit. And that's really important to do in your impeachment because, like I said at the beginning, it's really easy to get emotional and angry, but we really just need to take a big, deep breath. And so when you're crediting the affidavit, it's really important to be methodical like I was. Also notice I only asked leading questions. I didn't say, did you prepare an affidavit? Were you sworn, right? I'm just stating the facts because we all know the facts. And again, we want to phrase our cross questions as statements that the witness couldn't possibly run away from. But also I made sure that everyone was on the same page with what we were talking about. I explained what sworn means. I explained what an oath is. I explained what a witness statement is, right? If you credit an affidavit or a deposition or a report, whatever your witness's statement is, if you credit it in that way, your impeachments are going to be a lot clearer, and it's going to help you adjust your pace to the place it needs to be. So before we get into the third step of an impeachment, I want to let you know that my new book, Mock Trial Masterclass, is available on Amazon. And look, I get it. Mock trial is not easy, and it's hard sometimes to find answers for how to win a championship and how to have success. So that's why I wrote this book. It is a championship plan that anyone can understand. This isn't a boring textbook full of big words that you won't be able to read and that'll make you want to throw the book out the window. No, this book is just like these YouTube videos that you watch on my channel or that you listen to on podcast platforms. We have fun. We tell stories, we tell jokes, but most of all, I'm going to lay out a plan for you all to succeed at mock trial and impeachments and every other area of mock trial in a way that you can grasp and you can apply right now. So again, the book is available on Amazon right now, and you can click the link in the description to go buy a copy. All right, the third and final step of an impeachment, once you have confirmed the witness's answer, once you have credited the witness's statement, step 3, contradict. Now, this can take a couple of different forms because, as you maybe realize, with impeachments, sometimes we do what's called an impeachment by omission when we're attacking a witness for saying something that wasn't in their affidavit, and other times we're impeaching a witness for saying something that went against testimony from their affidavit. And so at this point in the contradict stage, you're just going to approach it depending on which situation you're in. So let's start with the situation of a witness makes up something that wasn't in their affidavit. So there's not really a portion of the affidavit or statement that you can read to contradict that. So the way that you would execute the contradict step is, right, you've confirmed the answer, you've set up the witness statement, and then you would simply turn to the witness and you would say, and Mr. Smith or Miss Smith or whatever the witness's name is, nowhere in that sworn affidavit did you say anything about fill in the blank. And at that point, the impeachment is done. So what if it's the other way around? What if they said something that went against testimony from their affidavit? Well, at this point, you're just going to read the part of the affidavit that contradicts the testimony. So let's go back to our earlier example. Let's say the witness on the stand said the shirt was blue, and in their statement it said the shirt was red. So you confirm their answer, you credit the witness statement, and then I would walk into the middle of the well with a copy of the witness statement, and I would say, and sir, in line 45 or near in the third paragraph of the second page of your witness statement, it says the shirt was red. And then the last thing you're going to say is, I read that correctly. It's not, did I read that correctly? Because you did. You know you read it correctly. You're not asking for a confirmation. It's, I read that correctly. And then at that point, your impeachment is done. Don't ask any more questions. Don't ask a home run question like, so were you telling the truth then or are you telling the truth today? And please don't re-ask your first question. Don't say, so what color was the shirt? Or so the shirt was red. Because if you do that, it's going to give the witness a chance to wiggle out and give them one last chance to explain. Just stick to the 3 steps and then stop talking. I hope that this episode on impeachments was helpful. I hope it helps you maybe calm down a little bit when you give impeachments, have a better process to go about. And if you want even more information about impeachments, a whole chapter of my new book, Mock Trial Masterclass, is devoted to the art of impeaching well. So go pick up a copy, click the link in the description, and I promise if you take the tips from this video and combine them with the tips from the book, your impeachments are going to be at the level of a mock trial master.